Okay, so Pritam Pradhan is basically like he's the first person in our club meetings who starts the meeting. Okay, so it becomes very important for him to address. Okay, so it becomes very important for him to set the tone of the meeting.
Okay,
Yes.
my next question is that
Mhm.
most of the people have the fear of public speaking, and that
Right.
you have been doing for almost 3 years. And I have
Right.
heard you have won many prizes, and you
Mhm.
are doing really great. So, how a person can become good at public speaking, and how?
Understand these nuances basically of public speaking. So more than the language, also your body language, your vocal variety, your intonations that you're making, your eye contact, your presence is plays a huge and significant role in public speaking. Okay.
And how to start the hook?
Hello.
Mm,
Hello. Hi. Good morning. How have you been?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for asking. And how about you? How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good as well. Thank you for asking, Messina, right?
Awesome. Yes.
Yes. Okay. So today, Messina, we are just supposed to be talking about your tutor, Pritam Pradhan's like regular learner, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Okay.
So, first of all, I have a few questions that I want to know from you, and then
Okay.
I have prepared some vocabulary that I want to
Okay.
discuss. Okay.
Okay.
Now, the
Right.
first question is that what made you to think, means what motivated you to think about becoming a spoken English trainer? Because I have read your description.
Mm,
You are an engineer,
right.
right? Yeah.
Mm.
So, what motivated you?
Well, thank you. Actually, this is something that I had uncalled. This is completely something that is uncalled for.
Okay.
I was not actually expecting, or I had never in my 100 years would have predicted that I would be somebody who would be able to teach people English. Now, I'll tell you the reasons why. I was enrolled in a convent school, basically, right? And it was an ICSE school, and it was not like any convent school as such. Okay, it was the kind of school where my principal used to be like Irish people, where my principal used to be basically Britishers. Okay, so this is the kind of heritage and the school that I came from, right? My parents very early, and specifically mother, she kind of forced my father to make and allowed me to enroll in a school like this, because it was her dream actually to be able to speak in English.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. And
Okay.
when she herself used to struggle with a lot of this education, because everything was taught in English, but she could not understand English herself. That's when she decided that, okay, I'm not being able to speak well in English, my daughter will, basically, right? So that was the inception, basically. But having said that, after having done my schooling for 13 years in a school like Loreto Convent, where you used to get punished, basically, right? Or even for speaking in your vernacular language. So Pritam Pradhan and my vernacular language is almost the same. We are Nepali, right?
Nepali, yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so ours, basically our mother tongue is Nepali. So
Mhm.
that is a Nepali. That is a mother tongue. So when I was actually growing up, also, I did not have this environment like everyone else did. Okay, a lot of my friends, they did have an environment that they used to speak, where they used to speak in English with their parents or with whoever, like their siblings. I, on the other hand, I did not have that kind of environment myself, right? So
Mhm.
English has been a struggle for me also. It is not like I was very good at English when I was in school. No. I had friends who used to be voracious readers who knew how to construct their sentences very beautifully at an age of about 10. They were very good with their English. The command over the language was extremely good. I, on the other hand, I have literally had a lot of my struggles with English. Okay. But I feel that English is something that you can work upon. It's not something, see, um, it is not my native language. Okay, it is not your native language. So I think the effort has to be a maximum, but then you can see that the efforts that you're going to put on later is going to be very fruitful, and you're going to grow in an exponential manner. So if there is any time where you feel like, okay, I will not be able to master this particular language, I do not have that command over that language, there is a certain level of fluency that is lacking whenever I'm speaking in English, that is just a matter of practice. That is all I would have to say. So, coming back to your question, when you talk about being an English tutor, it's not something that I have ever pictured to do. Okay. But when I was doing my engineering is when I realized, and I had gotten a job also after fourth year of my college. I was placed in a company and I was working in an MNC. But that's when I realized that it was not my calling.
Okay.
Okay. It
Mm-hmm.
was not my vocation, basically, right? I was not enjoying what I was doing at that moment. And I was very, what do I say, impulsive about my decision of just letting all that go. Like, 4 years of my education in engineering, I just let that go. And I broke this news to my parents when I told them that I'm not interested in joining, or I'm not interested in continue to become an engineer. I'm not really enjoying this process. They were very supportive. So that's
Mm-hmm.
how. And then I happened to join an organization that both Pritam Pradhan and I are a part of, right?
Toastmaster.
Yeah,
Toastmaster club.
Toastmasters.
Okay.
So what happened was, now I've been a Toastmaster for the past 3 years. Okay, so I've
Mm-hmm.
been
And
able
you
to
are
go.
one of the best Toastmasters I have heard from
No,
Pritam.
it's not. No, it's not the best.
But
I
you are
don't.
doing great. You are
Yeah,
doing good. Yeah.
yeah, but this journey has been great for me, because once I joined Toastmasters is when I started getting my confidence back when it comes to English also. At that particular moment also, I did not know that okay, I would be able to master English. Okay, I understood English, I was able to speak English, but not in a manner as refined as I am at the
Mm-hmm.
moment. Okay,
Okay.
so that has happened over time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this still is not my full-time profession. Like Pritam Pradhan, he is a full-time English tutor. Like, this is all he does, right? And he's very good at it. He's extremely good at it. There is so many things that I get to learn from him as well. But this is not something that I'm doing as my
Okay.
full-time job.
That's
I'm
why
at,
you create your slot, means you open your slot in the morning and evening.
yeah, just like for a matter of 3 hours, I'm always there on this platform, but only for a very brief amount of time. But I'll tell you, Messina, it's just a matter of practice. It is just a matter of practice. And once, and it's also about a mentality sometimes. We think that if somebody knows how to speak very well in English, then they are very confident about themselves, or they have an higher edge, they have an edge above us, right? And they do in some certain cases. But you must realize that you can also reach that kind of position. It's all a matter of practice and perseverance and basically consistency. That is all that it takes.
True.
Okay. Mm,
Mhm. You mean to say that even though you had studied in an English medium school, you had
right.
an environment to speak and listen to English
Yeah.
because it was compulsory for you, even
Yeah.
though you struggled to
Yes.
become to this position because you
Mm.
didn't have the environment in
No,
your
back
own
at
home,
home.
right?
Yes.
So
Yes, I did not back
I'm
at
trying to create that environment because I had struggled. Still, I
home.
have been. I don't say that I'm struggling now. I'm
Right.
just trying to elevate my skill
Mm.
when it comes to
Right.
English.
Right.
But I create. I have the environment. I talk to my kids, so
Mm, yes.
I'm
So
feeling
see,
good.
you're already at a much more advantageous position than I was when I was growing up as a child. Okay, I did not have anybody to speak to in English, basically, right? Like, my father was away here; he was not working where we were living at the moment. My mother, on the other, and she did not know how to speak English. So the interaction that happened basically was only in school. Okay, and.
Mm.
And because my friends knew how to speak in a very advanced sort of a language, they always used to mock people who couldn't.
So
Okay, who,
did they get that environment of speaking at their
yeah.
home? Okay,
The reason
my
being is
parents.
a lot of
Mhm.
my friends were boarders. Okay, they had come from different schools again, but they had joined boarding schools. And what happens is, in even in the boarding schools, even
Mhm.
like after the school is done, then you're still supposed to
They
be
have
speaking.
to speak all the time.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah.
So
True.
that's the reason why they were able to speak very well as compared to me. Okay.
Mhm.
And also, one of the most important thing that I would like to tell you is, and because you have your kids and your kids are also growing up, I would just like to tell you, emphasize on them reading a lot of books. This is something that was not done when I was growing up. See, when I was supposed to study, I was only made to study my whatever was given in the syllabus. Okay, I was only allowed to touch my school books. Anything apart from that, I was told like it's not important. That was the basic mentality that everybody had around me. Like, it's not important to read other books. But I would suggest that if you inculcate this habit of reading in small children at a very young age, no, they will have a very good command over the language. They will not have to struggle like how we did. Okay, so reading is an extremely important exercise when children are growing up, so that they have that kind of command over that language.
I'm feeling good, you know why?
Mm,
Because my son, when he was 7 years old, because I
right.
also have realized I didn't have the habit of reading books at all, even
Right.
not in my mother tongue.
Mm,
So later I realized no,
mm,
reading helps to expand our knowledge.
mm,
It gives us confidence. When we have knowledge, we become confident.
right.
So when my son was 7 years old, I bought Panchatantra books,
Mm,
bedtime stories, and those means English is not that much simple.
right.
Now I understand very well. At that time,
Mm,
I couldn't understand well. Some particular words I couldn't understand the meaning.
mm,
And then when he was 8 to 9 years old, I bought 10 books together. The
right.
Growth Diary of Good Kids.
Okay.
And where he has learned parents are not my servant.
Mm,
Then
okay.
how to become confident as a child. So he
Right.
has already read those 10 books. After that,
Yes.
I gave him encyclopedia
Mm,
related to universe, related to science. I
right.
have been trying. I even he also reads, and his English is also good because of
Right.
that reason maybe. But
Mm,
now because of this smartphone, he wants
mm,
to play game, he wants to
right.
watch. That is the only one thing. But I have
Mm,
been trying from my own side, and even
right.
I also read in front of my
Mm.
kids.
Yes, that is absolutely important. See, I'm not a mother myself, but I know like the what are the repercussions of completely doom scrolling basically in a phone. It's not even good for adults, let alone for a kid,
Yes.
right? So
Mm.
you have to monitor them and like the kind of content that they are watching, because see, they're really growing up and they don't, it's like they have not figured life for themselves, right? They're just figuring out the environment at the moment, right? So when you immerse them in a situation where they're continuously on their screens and watching some content or the other, it is likely that all the psychology is going to change, right? So it's very important that you monitor. It's okay if they like to watch a
Mm.
lot of these uh, if they are interested in watching movies, I would suggest you that they
Animes.
should be watching.
He was
Yes.
my son watches animes.
Mm. Animes is good. It teaches you something good, right? Uh,
Mhm.
I think right now you should just bar him from watching any shows which is based in the US, UK, because the kind of culture that they follow is not appropriate for kids, right? But
Mm.
Japanese culture, on the other hand, where he is watching a lot of these animes, is good. Korean
Mm.
culture is very good.
Yeah, he watches those Korean culture. He's
Right,
into.
because we have that kind of similarity. Like the Asian culture is much more better than the Western culture, basically, right?
Mm.
And so he can watch a lot of these American, but these Disney movies also, for that matter. It teaches
Mm.
you very beautiful lessons. Okay, so Lion King, Zootopia, all these
Mm.
movies, animated
Means
movies.
we have taken subscription on Netflix, so
Mm-hmm.
he watches 13 plus.
Mm.
He's 12
Okay.
years old now, but
Mm.
he has taken subscription 13 plus. I
Mm.
think those he yeah, shows or maybe
Yeah.
he can watch.
You
Mm.
make sure that he's not consuming any of the like A rated, or these are something which are not appropriate for him. So
Mm.
you make sure
I
that you
cannot
monitor what he's watching.
because don't allow him to watch on mobile. He watches on TV. We have
uh,
connected, yeah,
yeah, this is
on
a good move, right? This is a good move, then you will be able to easily monitor what he is
TV.
watching, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
My next question is that
Hmm.
most of the people have the fear of public speaking, and that
Right.
you have been doing for almost 3 years. And I have
Right.
heard you have won many prizes, and you
Hmm.
are doing really great. So, how a person can become good at public speaking, and how to prepare for that in the matter as the matter of fact, hook, body, and conclusion. How to
Hmm.
prepare? How do you prepare, and how
Okay.
have you been doing it? Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I'll tell you from the very beginning. Okay. Like when we talk about just public speaking, basically, right? It has nothing to do with the command over your English. There are people who will be very confident and who will be addressing a lot of crowd without having proper knowledge or proper command over the language also, basically, right? So public speaking is a completely different domain. It does not require you to be perfect in English. That is something that we have to uh, let go of this mindset, basically, right? So public speaking is all about the appearance. Public speaking is all about the confidence that you are able to exude whenever you face a lot of crowd, whether you are able to articulate your thoughts and not be succumb to the pressure that you are basically getting. Okay, so this is something that we need to focus on. Also, Yes, basically. So this is something that we need to work on, okay? I am somebody, when I was growing up, I was extremely underconfident about myself. And this underconfidence was majorly because I was not being able to have a good command over my own language, and also because of the stage fear that I had, basically, right? It was
Mhm.
something that I could never really get rid of. I remember I always used to be selected for elocutions, for debates and competitions in school. However, whenever I used to go on up on stage, I used to fumble a lot, or I used to get stuck for a good 10 to 15 minutes. I would forget what I was actually supposed to be
Mhm.
saying, because this was all stage fright, basically, right?
Mhm.
So public speaking is basically, again, it is all about a matter of consistency and practice. Initially you're going to get extremely scared to face an audience, right, and to speak your thoughts. Then slowly, when you start getting used to that kind of environment, to that habitat, basically, right, you get better at it. So it's not something that there are very few kids who are extremely confident about themselves, but there
Mhm.
are a lot of more people who have actually worked upon these skills, also on these public speaking skills. Today when you hear like these celebrities and even like famous personalities speak on the stage, half of them they might not be really confident about what they are saying also. Okay, it is
Mhm.
just the way they present themselves that make them seem that they are confident. So coming back to your question, when it comes to public speaking, it is extremely important that that you have a good command over the language. See, I'm not somebody who would advocate that no, your English could be mediocre, is just about the stage presence. No, I think when you're there on the stage, when you are making sure that everybody is looking at you, you have that kind of presence. You make sure that you give it that you give it to the other audiences also, that you are not wasting your time, they are not wasting your time by watching you. So you make sure
Mhm.
that you give it your best. Okay, so
Mhm.
having a good command over that particular language whenever you're speaking in public is always good, it is always preferable. Okay, but
Okay.
what are the other things that you should be doing in order to improve and be a lot more confident? Body language, it is very very important. Okay, you can
Mhm.
figure out whether a person is very nervous or he's confident about himself just by his mere body language. How?
Mhm.
If there is a person who has exceptional knowledge in terms of physics and in terms of science, okay, whatever he has to share, and he has to make a presentation in front of an audience, if he's trembling, it's obvious that he is nervous. If he's
Mhm.
very stiff with his body, he's not moving around, it seems that
Mhm.
he is nervous. If you're not going to be relaxed in your body or language, then it is pretty evident that everybody around you will be able to figure out that you are very nervous. So make sure that your body language is at ease. You need to be comfortable with your own body. Okay, so
Mhm.
move around your stage. You have to move around. You cannot stick to one position and expect that the entire, or if you have a presentation about 20 minutes, you cannot expect the audience eyes to be fixated at you for 20 minutes in one position. That's not going to happen. You have to move around to be able to gather people's attention, garner people's attention. So, body language, stage choreography becomes extremely important. One more thing is that when you are delivering something very convincing,
Mhm.
and whatever you're delivering is beautiful, good command over the language, you're perfectly at ease with your body also, you're moving around in the stage, but you're looking around elsewhere.
Eye
Else,
contact.
hmm,
Mhm.
eye contact becomes extremely important in in this particular domain. Okay, so
Mhm.
whenever it is that you're conveying any sort of message to the audience, you have to look at them. So I
Mhm.
will give you a very important tip, okay, which
Okay.
is you just have to make like a triangle with your eyes whenever you have to address an audience in front of
Mhm.
an entire room. Say, for example, if you're in an auditorium where you're
Mhm.
facing about 100 people, okay,
Okay.
it's not possible that you're going to look at each and every
It's an
100, like
example.
100 eyes. It's
Mhm.
not possible
Yes.
to eye
Mhm.
contact with each one of them. So what you do, to the right,
Mhm.
of first person, you're going to look at them. In the
Mhm.
left, you're going to look at the other person. Okay, and at the back, you're going to look at people straight. So then you create a triangle for yourself.
Fine.
So then when you look here, look there, look here, you are actually being able to cover in the entire audience. So
Okay.
eye contact becomes extremely important. Okay,
Mhm.
again, one
Mhm.
more thing is vocal variety, or the intonation that we talk about, the rise and fall of voice. If
Mhm.
you're just going to speak in a very monotonous manner, then your lecture is going to be extremely slow and boring, and nobody is going to be interested in what you're trying to say. See, the intonation that I've given here is
Yes.
linear.
It became, yeah, flat.
It becomes linear. It's flat. There is
Yeah.
no such graph in terms of your vocal variety. But if you say something very interesting in a very exciting manner, okay,
Mhm.
and maybe if you're sharing something, a news which is very grief, which is very somber at the
Mm.
moment, okay, you lower your voice.
Lower views, yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
these are extremely important. Intonation becomes extremely important. Just a
Mm.
few one more tip is, when you have to share an exciting news, a happy news, you can elevate your tone a little bit more. You can try to bring up your pitch a little bit more. Again, if you have something sad news to share, a somber news to share, then you have to lower your pitch, because you cannot be like, you will never hear a journalist say, today in the
Mm.
morning we had 250 people getting killed by a plane crash,
Yes. Yeah.
right?
They will,
So
yeah,
yeah,
make their face also long face, sad face. Mm.
right. So you have to understand these nuances basically of public speaking. So more than the language, also your body language, your vocal variety, your intonations that you're making, your eye contact, your presence
Mm.
is plays a huge and significant role in public speaking. Okay.
And how to start the hook? Means
What hope are you talking about?
hook means when we start talking, shall we say like that? Hey, good morning, everyone. Hey, everyone.
Hmm.
Today I'm going to talk about this like this way, or by asking any question. Means how to
Sure.
hook them. How to hook
Yeah.
them. Mm.
Okay. Okay. Now I understood. How do you want to your
Yes.
basically
Yeah,
your
begin.
subscribers or
Yeah.
your viewers to get hooked on your thing, right?
Mhm.
Okay. It depends. See, there are
Okay.
so many I would just simply, if it's a speech for that matter, right?
Okay.
Because in Toastmasters, in that organization where we are part of, it's always advised that you should start with a question, because then the audience will be like hooked. Okay, they'll be like, okay, what next is she going to say? And they will also start ruminating over the question also themselves. Okay, say, are you happy,
Mhm.
my dear fellow colleagues? If you say something like this,
Mhm.
then it'll give them
They
some
will
kind
also
of
start thinking,
ruminate.
am I really happy? What is
Mm.
the reason that I'm happy or I'm not?
Yes, then
Okay.
they will listen to you more intently. So
Mhm.
asking question is great, but there are times when you don't have, when you cannot ask questions, okay, or where you might not find feel that it is appropriate to begin your speech or whatever it is with your English. Say for example, in a YouTube channel, I don't think it would be appropriate to say to start with a question. So start with a greater introduction. Hi everybody,
Mhm.
welcome to my session today. So
Mhm.
this is something that you can do. Okay, so
What
it
about the
works either
schools?
way. Hmm?
What about the schools? For example, if I have to present something in my
Hmm?
children's school in front of the other teacher and students,
Mm-hmm.
then shall I start like this? Good morning, everyone, respected principal ma'am, then dear teachers or respected teachers or honorable teachers and my dear students and learners. Like
Mm-hmm.
that way, or I
Yes.
can also there also
Yes, you
question.
can start. You can start like that. Okay. It is always appropriate if you're starting with a greeting, right? So, good morning, everybody. I am very happy and elated to be here. Okay. So, today I'm supposed to be speaking on this. So, let me ask you a few questions. And then you can start with your questions. Start with a greeting first, because that is always like acceptable. It makes the environment very good. When you address each and every body, they will be like, okay, now I feel very uncomfortable. I feel welcomed, right? So when you address good morning, principal ma'am, and the teacher, the respected teachers, and my fellow students or my students, then you're welcoming each and everyone in your speech, basically, right? You're like setting the base, setting that environment where people are going to be comfortable at your session, right?
And
And then
shall we introduce ourselves as well? Sorry to cut you
yes,
off.
yes, you have to introduce yourself. So, first start with the greeting. Basic greeting is okay, okay. Then you
Mm.
can start like, my name is Masina Khanam, and today I will be conducting a session on this. My children themselves, they study in this particular school, so I'm. It's a. I think I feel very privileged. I feel elated to be a part of this organization. I'm very happy today to be here. Then you can start with a question. When you start something
Um,
with something, then you can always start with with a
Good
question.
question. Mhm.
Mm. because this setup where we are talking about in Toastmasters, we know each other, right? Like we
Mm.
are a part of a club, so we know each other, so we don't have to greet all the time.
Introduce also. You don't need to
Yeah.
introduce every
Yeah,
day.
we don't have to introduce ourselves all the time. But when you're meeting new people, they don't know anything about you, you don't know anything about them. It is always advisable that you start with an introduction. Okay, so Pritam Pradhan is basically like he's the first person in our club meetings who starts the meeting. Okay, so it becomes very important for him to address. Okay, so it becomes very important for him to set the tone of the meeting. So he's
Mm.
like always like, good evening, my fellow Toastmasters. It's always a pleasure to see you. I
Mm.
am really looking forward to this meeting. And then we read out the mission of the club. Okay, so he sets the base basically. That is very much important when you are a first speaker. Okay.
Mm. Okay.
Mm.
He suggested me to join any Toastmaster
Yes.
club, but
Yes.
unfortunately, we don't have here because I
Mm.
live in a town. We don't live in
Okay.
a city, and
We also live in a town. It's a very small town, Darjeeling, right? And
but
it's in the northern part of West Bengal. But
okay.
somehow we are fortunate
Yeah,
we do
you
have
have.
a
You
job.
have. I think it takes maybe 1 hour. Pritam has shared with me.
Yeah.
But if
It's
I want to join, then I have to go 3 hours. It will take
uh,
me.
yeah, that would be a
But I'll
problem,
try.
right?
If I find any opportunity through online as well, I'll try.
There are a lot of Toastmasters club, okay,
Mm.
which work remotely also. They work remotely, so you don't have to go anywhere. Also,
Mm.
it's only when it's always advisable that actually when you join a Toastmasters, you do it offline because then you get to meet people
Yes,
around,
physically,
right?
yes, that is the
Yeah.
real life experience.
Yeah, it's an experience. It's a beautiful experience, beautiful organization to be a part of. But see, having said that, if there is no possibility of you joining any
Something is better than
Toastmasters club,
nothing.
yeah, it would be better always to join offline or online also. It's a great platform. Okay, so after a point of time, Masina, you'll be like, then you'll be like, okay, maybe I don't need this kind of platform, and now I have learned enough. Okay, you are going to feel at a certain point like that. Then what is it? Then you might feel like you've reached a plateau phase in your life also, where
Okay.
it thinks like what next now. Okay, then I think the elevation is basically to your English is basically will be brought by your vocabulary and by your public speaking skills. Okay, that's very
Mm.
important. Otherwise, Pritham Pradhan, on the other hand, he is somebody who is extremely good with English, good command over language. There was no reason for him to join Toastmasters, basically. Okay, he knew much more than most of the Toastmasters there also, right?
Mm.
But he
Mm.
joined it still because he wanted to improve his public speaking
Public
skills.
speaking, yeah.
Yeah, that also becomes extremely important factor, right?
Mm, yes, yes. Yeah,
Mm.
he told me that English was never a barrier for me,
Mm.
but public speaking was one thing that I had struggled as well. So after
Yeah,
joining a Toastmaster class, I have improved a lot. Now I'm not intimidated by
yeah,
doing this kind of activity.
yeah.